Hi guys, this is Mikey from Lost Treasure Designs, and I just wanted, before we start in on putting together this amazing kit, the Pride and Prejudice folio, before we get into it, there is a portion that I did wrong in this video. So look out, I will be putting a disclaimer to wait a step, because I have you put something before and it should really go after, because you will see how I have to tear things apart to fix my mistake. So watch out for that little disclaimer. I guess it'll pop up and I'll let you know when, that way. Anyway, this is what we're going to be making today, and hope you enjoy the show. Hello crafters, this is Mikey from Lost Treasure Designs, and today we're going to be going over how to assemble the Pride and Prejudice kit. This is kind of a fun kit because it is square when it is finished, but it also has a flip journal inside it as well as a normal journal, like the 5x8 journal. Before we get into everything, I just want to make sure that pages 1 through 7, either your PDF or the JPEGs, whatever you're using for this kit, that 1 through 7 you're going to print on the back of the designer paper. I like it to be the one that matches the one that is in here, so I've put that one first in the PDF, and it's also labeled 1 in the designer paper, so that you can print this specific paper on the back of these. So that is just one thing that I wanted to point out. The rest of the kit is up to you, whether you're going to print one of the papers provided on the back of these or not. Okay, so we're going to start with page 1. Everything here I have cut out, and I have already did some inking along the edges here. You can see a smudge there. I think that mostly will get covered up. I dropped my little stamper thing on it and made a mess. So we're going to start with page 1. We're also going to grab a couple different pages. Those are going to go up there because we want pages to start. We want page 1, then we're going to go to page 3, page 4. And that is where we are going to start. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of move these ones over. So I'm going to start with pages 1 and page 3. Here, this is the inner top panel, so it's going to go up here, and this says attached to the top of page 1. So we're going to attach this to that. So I'm going to just run some things you might want with this. I got some double-sided tape. I've also got some craft glue. I'm going to be using them both interchangeably, and also probably want type of boning tool to help you flatten things out and stuff. I'm also going to be using a straight edge to help me with my tape, because I don't want to rip it funny, because I end up ripping the paper underneath it. So okay. Add some glue. Ooh, that is a lot of glue. That is way more glue than I wanted to add. Okay, so I'm gonna have this edge just go to the right of this fold line. I should mention that as also with inking the edges, I also scored everything, which you'll want to score. I will try to remember to tell you to score things, but you will see these really light markings here. You're gonna score here, here, and here on page 3, and then we're going to attach that there. I'm just going to kind of move this forward. I did just a really soft fold just so I could chalk my lines here. So I'm still going to want to crease these down so that I can get a much better fold line on that. Okay, I've got 2. You've got like a smaller one up here that's 1/8 of an inch fold line. So with this one, I'm going to use the help of my little ruler here just to help me kind of pull that one forward that way. I've just noticed when you do have the fold lines, when they're so close together, that it is easier to use a tool to help you get that done. Okay, and actually I've been folding this all the wrong way because this is all gonna fold in this way. Okay, because this is our back, which it says attach back panel here. That'll help us to keep everything where it's supposed to go. Okay, now that I've attached this to here, I want to move on to page 4. And page 4, we're going to have a couple different things. We first want to attach this panel, which is your flap, and it can be found on page 7. Yep, page 7. So I'm going to go ahead, and it says here, attach inner bottom fold out here. That's this piece. So I've misplaced my tape. Of course I did. I dropped it on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to run. And then I'm attaching this just to the right of that score line, where we're going to fold, just so you know where I'm placing that. Okay. I'm just going to crease my line down there. I'm going to go ahead and crease these ones as well. And again, these ones I just did a really soft fold on, so that's why I've got to fold those down. This one is folding a little bit better than that last one on that 1/8 of an inch piece. Okay. Now, it says attach, done that. attach this this is where our panels are going to go, and it says bottom, so this is going to go to the bottom. Attach to the bottom of page 1. Our page 1 is our main square. So I'm going to run some tape along here, and we'll attach it to the bottom. There are a lot of pieces to this, but the final is really cool when it's all put together. I always have a fun trying to figure out a new way to do something, and I really want to do something special for the Pride and Prejudice kit that I was putting together, because I just really wanted to showcase the fun art that is part of it. And it took a long time to get it put together, but I think it turned out really good. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold that back, and then there should be another score line that we need to fold back. And this one should be like a 1/4 inch, but it still helps to have that straight edge to get that to bend for us. Okay. When this is all done, these are all going to fold up like that. Just kind of roll up. This will come down. And then these two will be one of the closures that we will then open, and we'll have the journal behind it. The flip journal. Okay, next step is these are on page 2. We're going to attach these. You have a right and a left, and they should say here, yes. Attach to the right side of page 1 panel, attach to the left side of page 1 panel. So I'm going to go ahead and put tape on both of these and get them prepped to go ahead and put down. This is my right panel. I'm actually going to flip this around this way. And then I'm going to put this just down to the left of that fold line. And this is going to be a little tricky. I need to move it up because I had it too far down. Okay, while I have that there, I'm just going to go ahead and get this on this side. And I'm going to attach this one just to the right of that fold line. Flip these over now. Make sure everything was in the frame. Sometimes when I'm recording, I don't realize that I've completely gone off the frame, so you can't even see what I'm doing. Just holding that one back. This is upside down, the writing, but that's okay. As long as we have these in the same spot, we will be good. Hold that back. Okay. These are actually the flaps that are going to hold in our flip journal that's going to go behind this, and it's pretty cool looking. So now the last step to get these bones put together of this, well, almost the last step, we have this piece. This is on page on the bottom of page 5, and I did not score this one, so you get to see me score. Gotta get my cutting blade away. Too often I end up chopping off something instead of scoring. Okay, so that is out. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a bend, just to get the paper used to bending. Run some tape along this. This is attached to the top of closure to page 3, bottom flap. If that doesn't make sense to you, I understand why. I'm going to tell you where to put it. Okay, page 3 was our bottom flap, or our bottom fold out, these here. So what we're going to do is attach this. We have our fold line here, so that this is going to go in. So this is a little tricky because we want this to go, if you can see, kind of see where our, not our main fold, but this is our next one. So you've got one line here that matches up with the bottom of this flap here. The next one is what we want to match this up to. So I'm going to bend this down a little bit better. I should have creased this before I put my tape. It just will make it a little easier if that is completely flat. Just going to add our glue. Now, I'm going to turn this over this way, and I'm going to line this just underneath that fold line. Okay, and that is going to act as a little closure to help keep this from opening up again. So that is that piece. There's this piece that is on one of the last pages. Don't worry about that yet, because it is one of the last things we do before we place the journal pages. It's going to go here, and when we have our journal pages, which are all of these that are going to go down, it's going to cover this top part where you're going to attach so that it looks really nice like that. Okay, so put those off to the side. We'll worry about that with that. So now our next steps is to add our cover panel and to add our outer panel. So it's going to go like this where it closes, and then this is where the full cover there. So this is attached to the right side of page 1 after you've done pages 2 and 4. We've done pages 2 through 5 attaching this together, so we are good now to attach these two sides. The reason why I just have the afters in there is so that you make sure that these things get down first before these go down. That way you don't have issues with things overlapping or things in the way when you're trying to put them down. Okay, so this one trying to get this all closed up a little bit. This one is actually going to go on the back of here. I want this full line to match up with the edge of that. I don't know if it's easier to look on this side. And then I'm going to open this up so that I can actually flatten those out. Okay, so then the panel can close in like that. Somehow I've put that on the wrong way. I'm trying to figure out why. Sorry everybody, I'm taking this off. Yeah, trying to take things off after you've taped and glued them down. At least the glue hadn't dried quite yet. The reason why I did that is because this panel has been labeled wrong. Because this should go on before these, not after. So I will be fixing that. I'm gonna have to like make a note and go back in time and fix that, because it's, I'm wondering if I can just put this on that. No, that's not going to work either. I'm going to have to, I will have to go back and fix that in the video rather than starting all the way over. Oy. Okay. I know what I'm doing, right? Of course I do. You think I would? I'm the one that designed this. You think I would remember how I put it together the first time? Okay, now this is going to go down same spot, same place where our full line is matching up with the edge of our square center. Now this guy can go back where he was. I'm gonna have to add more tape. And then I'm gonna have to try to figure out how I'm going to fix that in the video. Might just have to splice in a section and explain what the heck is going on in the video. Okay. I don't know if I have yet made a tutorial where I've not messed something up. But you know what? Normally when I am crafting at home, I'm bound to mess something up. So I think it makes you feel more validated, right? If you make a mistake, if I make a mistake. Alright, okay, so that's done. Now I've got to rip this guy off. Hopefully he comes off as good as the other side did, because this one, ooh, it's not coming off very well. Don't you love the sound of that paper ripping? Not. Oh, if I can get right underneath the tape, then it comes off better, but if the tape doesn't pull up, then it's messy. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So now I'm going to attach the cover first. It says after, it needs to say before. I will make sure that it says before when you see it. And then you'll be like, well, I don't know what he's talking about in that part, because it says after, not before. Yeah. Yeah. And now we can reattach this guy. This is probably the most complicated part of this, is just getting these main pieces assembled. And it's really just because there's lots of pieces. Not that it's that complicated of a kit to put together. Alright, so there we have it. We've got that. This folds up here. This folds down there. This folds over this way. And then this is the cover that closes. And everything should then be in the right spots. Okay, now we can start adding in the panels. I'm going to start here with these panels. If you want to do a closure here, which I think I will do just to show you, we will want to add the ribbon in now. I'm just going to do a quick tie ribbon where we could just tie these two ends together. You are going to need these two panels, and you can find them. Let me quickly look through. Maybe not so quickly. Oh, there it is. Page 10. These are on page 10. Okay. So what you're going to need is a little bit of ribbon. This is about 18 inches of ribbon. I'm just gonna fold it in half and cut. This is totally optional, but I think it might add a little bit of foof because, let's face it, the Regency time period was very foofy. Lots of fabrics, lots of rules about silly things, social rules. So I'm just adding a little bit of tape just to hold these in place. There, and one here. Now I'm just going to add some glue to these and glue those down. If you'll notice, I have to write what things are on the backs of my panels. I try to label it for you when you print it, and so I think it's a good idea to write down what everything is so that you're not too confused when you have a whole stack of different panels and pockets and you don't know what's what. You just help yourself to stay organized. Alright, Mr. Bingley and Jane are down. Now let's put down Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth. Ooh, a little cockeyed. One good thing about glue is it gives you a few seconds to straighten things out. Unlike tape, when it's down, it's down. Okay, so there we have our little fold, and I could show you how when we get these put in there. This will just kind of close these off for us. So there's a secret place where our journal is kept. Oh, Mikey, can you tie a bow? There we go. Okay, so that will be there. While that is drying, because really it takes no time at all for it to dry, we're going to go ahead and put our panels on these. The inside will have pockets. The top will have the panels. So you're going to look for panels B, panel A, top panel A, and flat. Look, these got A, inner top panels. A and inner panel A. Okay. So these can be found, let me see, on pages. Looks like on page 11 it has these two panels. So we're going to go ahead and just attach those where it says A and B. I'm going to move these out because I really want to smooth this out to get any air and bubbles out of that. Okay, then this was my next panel, inner panel top B. Yep. Did you see what I did there? I almost confused myself. Thankfully, I had it written down. So that is down. We can flip this up and we can find our pockets that will go in this part. Bottom, 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 bottom. Everything's bottom. Let's see what we got here. This is inner flap. Let's go this way. There's one pocket and oh no, I don't think that's there. Why do we have two of these? Oh, yeah. So I'm finding extra pieces of things because I've totally confused myself. Okay. So these two can be found on page Where are you, ladies? Oh, there they are on page 21. You could really play with this however you wanted. If you really want this beautiful panel to be a pocket up here, go ahead and do that. In fact, I just might, and then I'll be like regretting it because it needs to go somewhere else, right? Inner flap A. Yeah, I might need that for something else, so I'm just gonna leave that there. And I'll put these here. Okay. kind of want these pockets up here to be a little narrower anyway. You won't be putting too much stuff in these, but it is made so that you can hold a little bit more with the, that's why I give you that extra fold in there. Okay, so that'll fold down. I'm just gonna leave that how it is. I'm gonna push everything up so that we're still in the camera, because now we're going to add all of these panels. Okay, panel A. Oh, look at this. Panel A is this one. I almost used it somewhere else. Top panel B. This one is C. That will go there. It's a good thing I label things. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add these panels down. I tried to design this so that you can save a little on ink. That's why I have spaces that are whited out like this, but it also helps us to know what is going where. But adding in all these panels gives this a lot more strength so that it's not super flimsy. That way when this is all done, it's nice and sturdy. Okay, so our panels are done. I'm just going to flip this way. I gotta move this up so that I have more space and you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna close these in so we can actually, there we go, make sure we're in the view. Okay, so I've got our top closure is this one. Letters of endearment. That will close up like that. And I think what I would like to do is add a little tie around a button so that we can actually have this close a little bit better. So before I add this back panel piece, which will go here, I want to add a string coming out from it. I also want to add a button going here. And then when we put the pocket down, we'll cover it up. So I'm just going to mark whereabouts I want this to go. I should really use a pencil, but that would be looking for a pencil. I'm just going to make a mark. And if you look in the kit, there are lots and lots of circles and all sorts of fun cutouts. I have not cut out everything in the kit, but I have cut out some. Just got to find one of those button circles. Oh, here's one. Oh, Miss Bennett. All right, Miss Bennett. This is the heftiest, like, kit ever. It'll keep you busy for quite some time just with the cutting. Okay. All right, so I've got some string. You don't need a whole lot. All right. Maybe just like, we'll say 20 centimeters. Because I just have a centimeter ruler here. Oh, look, 8 inches. I couldn't know what my math is with doing that. Now, if I were to punch Brad through the center of this, it might go right into her ear. Another thing that we can do is flip it over and we will glue the brad to the back of this and go through another hole. So I'm going to quickly punch a hole. This was just scrap of the one that I was working on putting this together. And so I am going to attach that to the back of here, but before that I want to put a brad. So this is actually 2 cardstocks thick. I would maybe even go one more. Normally I go one, at least 3 thick. Looking for my piece of foam. Why isn't my stuff everywhere I put it? Kids. Okay, so this is just a scrap piece of foam, pretty dense foam that I hung on to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a hole in the center of that. And if you look at this brad, normally the brads that I use have really big heads on them where they are circular coming up, like the brass heads. This one I grabbed because it is more flat and I want it to be a flatter brad. Another way you can go about flattening these out so that they do get flat is you first open them up, then you can come in with a hammer, or you could even just like press it flat. These are such soft metal that it's pretty easy to get it to go flatter. Just gonna go on this side real quick. That saves me from having to get the hammer out. Alright, so I'm going to just fold these back in. Maybe. Okay. So those are folded in. I'm going to punch this through. Goodness. Oh, hold on. I got glue like all over my fingers and it's making things kind of difficult. Okay. Alright, I've got that through. I'm just going to open them up a little bit so that I can keep it in place. Cover the back of Elizabeth with a bunch of glue. And that's just one way I can cover a brad with one of the art pieces so that it doesn't like distract from the art, since it would look pretty bad with the circle right there in her ear. Like she's got a really big earring. Alright, so I've marked here. I want to open this up. I'm going to flip this down. I have my foam underneath there. I'll punch my hole with my poker. And I'm going to feed this through. I'm turning her to make sure that as this goes in, that she is faced the way I want, and not like turned funny, because once she's in there, you don't want to be moving her around too much. Okay, and because I'm going to be wrapping this with string, I just want to come behind and give myself a little bit of space behind there. Sometimes I have a little thing that I use. I don't want as thick as this, so I'm going to use this ruler because it's a little thinner. I'm just going to put that in between there, flip this over. That way when I open these prongs up and push them down all the way, there's a slight gap for my string to go around. And you kind of see how there's just that gap right there. That'll help me to be able to tie around that. Okay, so she's down. I'm just going to put a piece of tape over this for now. We will be putting pockets and stuff, so I will probably end up covering that with a piece of paper just so that things don't get stuck when they go into the pocket. Alright, so we have that and that. I'm going to go ahead and now glue this guy down here. I'm just going to put another piece of tape just to kind of help this guy out to stay. We don't need a dog hair in there. Get rid of that. I'm going to lay that flat. I'm going to goop this up. And now this is our piece that we're going to put at the top of this. Our top closure panel. Going to glue this down. I really want to make sure that is going to pulled in our string for us. Smooth this out. And now our letters of endearment can be closed. And we could add something fancy to the ends of that. We'll wait on that. Okay, so we also have some fold-out pockets. I'm going to open this back up. And now we have some pockets to add. This is the pocket that is going to come down here. So that's the easy one. Just going to go around the edges. Okay. And then we've got Mr. Will Fitzgerald and Elizabeth. We'll be putting those like that. This is getting covered up, but because I don't want things to really get caught on that going down, I am once again going to grab a circle punch. And this was one of the scrap things that I had when I was labeling for the kit, so I'm just going to put this down on top of that brad back. If you opted not to do the closure, then you don't have to worry about this spot. You're not going to see this, so it doesn't need to be pretty. As in, it doesn't need to match. It does need to be flat. But putting that down will help us to be able to tuck things in this pocket without it really getting in the way. So you could put letters from her to him, from her to him, and then from him to her in there. Darcy is down. And I got Elizabeth. Alright, so that is our bottom. Got our pockets. And close that up. Flip it up one more time. And that bottom fold out is done. Next we have pockets to put here. Those pockets are these ones. One on that side, one on this side. Then we are done with the pockets on there. The last step that we have once we put these pockets in is then we can do our journal pages here. And what we're going to do with these is everywhere that there is this white, this is print on the back of the light designer paper, which is that. It's again is optional, but I think it looks a lot prettier when you're flipping through that you have, color on the backs of these. What's really fun about these pages is that I have put a quote from the book on each page. And I'll let you guess to see who they come from. Maybe you can find yourself if you're right or wrong. So I am going to first start with one page. I'm going to run a really thin stream of glue, just like so, along that. Then I'm going to add another page, making sure that these are all staying mostly even. And then I'm just going to keep adding more and more and more until we stack up all of our journal pages. Don't worry about putting them down yet. That's going to be our very last step before we put these in. So just go ahead and glue all of these down. And go ahead and do that. I will wait. Okay, so I have gone and attached all of these together, just running a strip of glue along there. I wanted to do this last one to show you one more way of how I was putting this together. So I would run my glue along the top just like that, and then I would match my corners up, and then because I want this to be straight, I would just tap and then run that along. That way they're straight all along the bottom. Sometimes when we cut things, they just don't quite, we don't always cut on the exact same thing. So, ooh, I put a lot of glue there. So that's why I tapped it down, so that we at least had this front part really nice and straight. Okay, so the next step is we're going to grab that cover piece, which I thought I had here, right here. So this is going to cover all this fun stuff here. So I'm going to run a piece of tape here and a piece of tape on these ones. So just gonna move this over a little. I will also be gluing this down, but the tape will help secure it really, really fast. I also made sure that I glued these down as I was gluing. Alright, so I've got that. I'm gonna grab this other glue because this glue is not cut so wide as that one. I don't want glue running everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece here and it's going to cover over that. And I want to make sure that it is folding around our journal pages there. This is kind of fun. It's different. Of course, this kit does come with the traditional journal pages, but this is kind of fun to have this flip journal. And you could flip these up and even use your top piece there to kind of hold them in place. Okay, I'm taking the back off of this and running some glue along here, and I think I'm going to also run just a strip of glue behind it along that back one. That way it will help to hold this all in place. Now I want to line this up. So there is a square journal. That is in place. Okay, so we have this done now, so we can just kind of close this up. Okay, and then these, of course, will fold shut like this. If you so desire, you could do another tie on these to hold those closed as well. I'm not going to worry about that today. Okay, so I'm going to move over to this side. I'm not going to do this one yet because we want to put the cover and the ribbon on first. This one, we're going to have the ribbon coming out the side right here, so we won't have to worry about anything getting obstructed right there. So let's go ahead and find these pieces. You should find one with a curve on the corner and then one that is straight. And you could layer these down, so they could be like layered pockets, or you could separate them, whichever fits your fancy. I think I like it separated. Kind of helps to fill in that space up there. There are lots of fun little things in the kit, that embellishments that you can add to this after to just kind of make it your own and make it look pretty. And just like the other ones, I'm kind of leaving that 1/8 of an inch border around each pocket. And of course, you do not have to print paper, the designer paper, on the backs of these. I just find it easier when I'm printing to I go through, and the main panels like this that I know aren't going to be attached, I pull those out and then I just print off the rest on the back of my other pages, because I like my tags to have the paper backing. And if you really look, you could pull that back and see a little bit, but you really don't see it, so it's perfectly fine not to even worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to fold this back. This is kind of tight there, so I'm going to pull that over. Now I want to find the panel. There should be a panel here that is curved on two sides, straight on the other. And that is your panel that is going to go there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue to this one. Once again, I printed this with the paper on the back. You do not need to do that. Save your ink. Although, if you wanted this on like a tag that might be on that same paper, you go ahead and do that. Just gonna place this, and that should cover all that white. And and also give us a little bit of a more sturdy cloth, or make it a little more sturdy. It's not so flimsy. Okay, so that is done. Now, our next step is we're going to want to add the ribbon that's going to hold this all together. I went with this lace ribbon. If you buy this, like, you can buy these in like bulk things, and they're not terribly expensive. But I'm just going to wrap around this. And of course, it's like all curled up on me. And then I just want to make sure that I have a good amount here on the end so that I can tie my little folio closed here. So I give myself, that's probably, I'm going to measure this out so that you guys can kind of have an idea of how much ribbon this is going to take. Oh, so 1 yard. 1 yard or 3 feet, however you look at it. Okay, pull that around. And then I'm just going to run a strip of some tape down here. This one's a little bit on the thicker side of tape. And some glue. You can see I just eyeballed it. From my position it looks like it's even, but it might not be if I were to actually tilt it where I'm looking on it straight. I'm going to flip it over to the back. Excuse me. Oh, I want to run some tape first. You can see where I made a boo-boo and had to rip off those panels. But hopefully that will get covered up when I put the panel on there, the back panel, and we can always use some ink to cover up any little mistakes. This front is ready to go. So here is our front panel. And I'm thinking I'm going to put a little more securing with a brad once I put this down so that my ribbon just has a little bit more support to it. And I'm also wondering if might look kind of cool to dress it up a little bit more and to add just some, yeah, I kind of like this. Okay, so I'm just adding, these are some corners, little brass corners. And I'm just going to come in here, and I want to do this before I glue this down, because if I were to put this on here, I could put it on these corners, on the actual corner, but I wouldn't be able to stick them over on this side, and it's really more of a decorative element rather than like protecting it in any way. I think it just adds a little bit more oomph to the look of the kit. This one's a little wide, so I'm going to save it for something else and use these ones that have been squashed down. Otherwise I have to open them up anyway when I'm using them for thicker journals. I'm just going to crimp these. You could always put a little bit of glue on them, but I think once crimping and then we'll have the glue behind it, I think they'll just hold just fine. Also, totally optional, but I think it'll make it look nice when it's all said and done. And I like to make things look pretty. Alright, those are ready to go. I think that kind of adds a nice little touch to it. Okay, go ahead and put this down. I'm going to make sure that I put a little bit of glue just behind those. I'm actually gonna open this up so I can really have it go on flattening it out. So we'll make sure, I'm double checking just to make sure that I didn't have it like upside down or something, because that would be unfortunate. There is our front. I'm gonna go to our back panel here. Oh wait, I want to do one more thing, is just add a little brad right there. This is more of a miniature brad. You could go with a little bit bigger, but I think just the smaller one will do what I want it to. And that's just to add a little bit more stability to our ribbon there. So I'm just going to punch a hole. Push my brad down. There's lots of decorative elements that you could get to put with these things. It's up to you, however you want to dress this up. And with it being a Regency kit, you really could go as much as you want, because that Gilded Age everything was just really flamboyant. Okay, so I got that down. Probably have to put something over that, so just for now I'm going to put a little piece of tape just to hold that there so that it doesn't snag on anything. Okay, now I'm going to focus on our back panel here. I'm not going to worry about putting any like corner pieces on this one. Since it's the back, you're not really going to see much of it because this does show a little bit. I'm just going to try to clean that up just a little bit more so that you don't really see it. Okay, now that those panels are on there, we can see how it's going to tie up when we tie this here on this side. You could do this a totally different way, and you could put your tie going around this way. That might look cool too, because you could actually put a little closure there or something. I decided I wanted it to look more like a book, like we're opening a book. Just because it's based off a book. So now that we have that, I'm going to finish this side here. There are lots and lots of different panels and pieces, pockets that, I mean, the kit comes with so many extras that you could make several journals with. So basically, I'm just going to pick out the ones that I think look the best and will help me out with covering that little guy up. I'm going to move that over. I think I like that. Maybe, no, I like that. Okay. So I went with those. So what I'm going to do here, this is going to get covered up by the side of my pocket here. So I'm not going to worry about putting paper over that. If it wasn't, I would have, like I did with that other pocket. But since it's not, I'm just going to make sure that it goes right on there. And then this one, I should probably put this one down first, but I didn't. So I'm trying to decide whether I want that to be a pocket or not, and I think I will make it a pocket just because I can. Of course, you can make anything a pocket just by leaving an opening. Put this in, kind of eyeball where I want it to go. I always like to leave just a little bit of a gap up here so that I can access that pocket. Okay, so there we have it. You could add, I mean, you could go to town and add lots of stuff everywhere, which I will probably continue to work on this and show you like what I came up with adding in all the rest of the pieces. But you can kind of see all the fun stuff that we did. Now we have all these fun pockets, these little places to store mementos. This is my favorite part, is this fun journal with all of these quotes on there. And it's just kind of a different way to have a journal, and I like that. So, I am probably going to make a matching journal to go with this using the rest of the goodies from the kit. Also, I'm going to dress this up a little bit more with some of the little name tags and stuff, just to make it look a little bit more fancy pants. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've added all the embellishments to this. It is now finished, and I'll show you how everything looks now. This is what I came up with for the journal, and obviously these do not fit together, but they complement each other. You can, if you want to know how to create this specific journal, there is a tutorial that I can link in the show notes that shows how to create this. This is just using the Pride and Prejudice kit, following the tutorial, the layered cover tutorial. You can just kind of see how I used all the rest of the stuff that I had for the embellishments, just to kind of put this together. And here is the journal. These are full-size, well, full-size paper once you have them down. They aren't full-size. It's about 5.5 by 8.5 is the finished journal size. But there's lots of beautiful art, lots of spaces to write, to take notes. You can continue to add to it, and there are 30 plus pages of this journal that comes with this kit that you can just keep going to your heart's content. It feels like it's never ending. 30 double layout pages, so I guess it's like 60 pages. But that's a nice size journal. Then here's another pocket. This opens up like that. You could put some more of this fun stuff in it. Okay, so that is the journal. Again, there's a tutorial that I use the Cozy Snowman kit for that, but you can still use these papers from this kit and kind of see how it all turns out. So here is our finished product of our folio. So you can see I've added all these little things, packed it full of all the fun stuff that comes with the kit. So much fun stuff if you are into Regency, into Pride and Prejudice. This was like a little cameo. It was like, it's a really cheap cameo, but it was like a little brooch that I took the pin off the back, and I just kind of stuck that down. I thought it would look kind of cool and kind of add some glamour to the kit. You can see I've added all these little name tags and stuff just around. Some more stuff that the kit comes with. Lots of envelopes, lots of tags, lots of little fussy cuts and stuff. Here, because it does come with a couple of these wax seals, B for Bennett and D for Darcy. I went ahead and put a magnet on this, and it wasn't that hard. Like, I put a magnet on the bottom of this, and then I just lifted that up a little bit and put a magnet behind there so that it can kind of hold together and snap close. So that's just how that is. I add a little brass trinket on that. So we have all of these. I don't know if anything's really changed of that, besides adding all the little fun embellishments in that pocket. I didn't really add anything else to that. The same with this up here. I just filled it with all the fun stuff that comes with the kit. And here we have our other journal. This is just a little drawing thing that these are just some sulfite papers that I stapled in there. They were some scrap papers, and I decided to make a little drawing book out of it. And we got the tags, and then the awesome flip journal. I just like how this turned out. This is just, it's different, it's fun, it's another way to, you know, you can showcase your thoughts and memories. And I think anybody who is like a Jane Austen fan would just really like this. So you could also use these, and you could blow these pages up, and you could use them for full-size scrapbook pages too. So that is it, the kit. It's all there. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments, or you could reach out to me via the Etsy shop. If you like this tutorial, please like it, and subscribe. Those who subscribe get free stuff. See you later.